I'd unmuted it on this microphone and forgot to mute it on OBS. Hello and welcome, folks. Hello, Twitch. Hello, YouTube. How are we doing today? Like I was saying, I apologize for any noise that you might hear. I've got a 3D printer firing off at the moment, just sort of going through its initial setup thing. I got the P1S ready to go as well. I'm not going to actually run any prints today. But I'm going to hopefully get them ready and do the initial prints tomorrow, and then we can finally get printing some scenery and stuff like that. Well, ideally tomorrow and the following day. That would be very nice. At least. And we are going to be doing the little Chaplain Dreadnought today. Like I said, we were tidying up yesterday. That box there, going to the trash. This one here is full of stuff that I'm not familiar with, but it's definitely mine. So I need to wade through that box. Those boxes will join that boxes, which has been there for about a month so far, and I've yet to dispose of, but we will do. I just figured we could get it all done at the same time. 75% the X1C at the moment. I need to get a couple of brushes. I'm still here. I was doing a little painting over the weekend, as well as tidying. Soon will we get to do. Woo! All right. Yeah, so yeah. Get to it. Let us get to it. Some slightly skanky water. We've got some more skanky, slightly more skanky metal water, or water for metallic washing at least. I have decided I've taken an executive decision. I'm just really not happy with making very strange noises. I'm just really not happy with this red, even if it was like a full-on... Even if it was a full-on red, rather than just a one coat or two coats, I don't think I'm really that happy with it. I think it looks a bit too weird. Especially going from blue to black. Maybe this entire arm should have been blue. So we might paint over the red in black paint. I'm not... Okay, those printers. Hey, Fatman's Kitchen. Hello, how you doing today? Going on? Happy Monday to you. Solo, hello, how you doing? Need a different resin. Can't tell when it's been primed. I have two options. Right? Solo? I've got two options for you. Either, right, a different resin or different color primer. Yeah. I mean, I personally like black primer. That's my preferred primer of choice. I know a lot of people grumble. Like, especially on YouTube videos. Constantly. It's like, why are you using black primer? Yeah, I'm painting something white, but I'm still using a black primer. Get over it. Grey resin, yeah, I would use a grey resin. I think black is also quite heavily pigmented as well, which needs more shaking and distribution of the pigments. Got my Stormcast done. Now I need to figure out what to base your Skaven with. You had any ideas? We've literally, for our Skaven, we've literally gone with the coffee stirrers, and then I just gouged some more deeper scratches into them. I'm gonna roll my sleeves up, if you excuse me while I do this. Rightfully sorry. Oh, I need Discord up. I keep forgetting about that. I've not been on Discord all weekend. In fact, I can't even remember last time. Wednesday or Thursday I was on Discord. It was quite a while ago. Terrible. Where's that? YouTube vids live. Yeah, we've not been on this all recently. Terrible. No time. Back into. No, I wouldn't solo. If I can get away with it, I absolutely will not put ISO into the vat. I absolutely used to, you know, with the spray bottle, spray it directly in there, and then wipe it down with some cloth or whatever I was using at the time. And I did notice, like, that the film started to cloud. Now, I'm pretty sure that's down to the ISO. So I prefer not to do that. I just use the squidgy silicone scraper and scrape. If like you're going to get a little bit around the edge of the other resin, and I just run a bit of paper towel along the corners to sort of mop up as much as I can. Beyond that, I'm not going to stress. Any little bits of resin in like the little crevices where the FEP and the side of the vat are, not going to make any difference to the resin when printing. Like if there's a tiny bit of previous stuff in there. Just a scraper, yeah. I use a silicone scraper. I would not use. I would not use the hard plastic one that comes in the box, or a metallic one for that matter. I only use silicone, basically cooking spatula type things, or similar with a rubbery edge. I mean, this is too hard. If you hit it at the wrong angle or something like that, there's no give, and especially if there's like for some reason, bit of resin attached to the FEP, and could cause disasters. So a little bit of some give in the silicone spatulas. Yeah, well, I've got the FEP. I have. Oh. Yeah, so I've got some Elegoo PFA. This like 10 of these sheets. I know the Saturn 3 Ultra had a different film on, which was weird, which was not great. So that was basically one of the very first things I did. I just swapped it out. All right. So obviously we got new goals for the month. Heresy 3.0 box is actually coming up for pre-order this Saturday. Slightly terrifying. We have that. I mean, that is a massive goal beneath my chin. So if we want to get in on that, that is probably any chance. If we can work on that at all, that would be a fantastic thing, because that box is... Okay. Sleeve, no, I think one sleeve is lower than the other. Fix that. All right. So what I wanted to do before we get to the painting, have a look at some Chaplain Dreadnoughts just quickly. Images. One of a quick little bit of basically inspiration, I think is the word we're going to use. Right. Let's have a look at a little bit of inspiration. I mean, these are all black. This one here's got some green on its shoulder, which is basically what I've done on mine. But I think I've done the right thing. A lot of them have gone with the gold. I forgot that this one was gone with the white wings, white feathery wings. So we are going with, okay, I reckon we're just going to go black. I mean, I'm happy with the gun basically swapping in with the red, and there's a bit of a red sensor, but I reckon we're just going to go straight up black. Yeah, so just the shoulder and the chapter colors, and then black and gold and stuff is going to be enough for our boys, because we're waiting way too long otherwise. We've got to get this finished. We've got to, frankly... Oh, why didn't I think of a banner, though? We got to get a wiggle on with our Ultramarine second company. So, yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. For any news? The origins of Saturnine armor, something. There was... Let's see something about the Palanite enforcers. Couple of characters, or one character with a different head option and different arm options, I guess. Nice. Oh, these are all captains. They wear snazzy coats. I'm very keen on the snazzy coat. Hardcase cyber mastiffs. Okay, so they're filling out the... Funnily enough, ooh, I like that sniper rifle. Funnily enough, I just found my Palanite. Some of them. So yeah, I do prefer FEP over PFA. Yeah. Hold on. I prefer whatever this stuff is, and this stuff is PFA release. This is the PFA stuff. I'm trying to remember. The NFEP was on the... Yeah, this is the right stuff. It's on the Saturn 4 Ultra. Yeah, basically the Saturn 3 stuff was... The Saturn 3 Ultra, I should say, was a... as you see here, like the Saturn 3... This is on the Saturn 3, the Saturn 4, and the Saturn 4 Ultra. It's not on the Saturn 3 Ultra, which I think was NFEP. I get the names wrong. It's been so long since I've thought about it, truth be told. But yeah, this is just regular, kind of older PFA release film. Yeah, I would... Hopefully you won't stick too much to the PFA. But yeah, I did forget that the name of the other one. I think it was NFEP. I wasn't massively keen on. So, get the guns over here. We are just going to go with black. I'm going to use black, whatever this one is right here. This is a very matte black, but we will be glossing over it at some point. So I'm just going to paint over the entire... Not keen on the red there. We will leave our red there just for a little bit of like a nod towards second edition. Sorry, I hope that wasn't too hilarious. I was verging on absolute hilarity. All right. Do you not have a bigger... There's a bigger... So what we're going to use the kit tile rather than anything else for this little bit. Beyond... So once we got the black on, I mean... There's not a huge amount which needs doing. We can almost move straight into the gloss varnishing, which is going to be wild. We got to get the Ultramarine symbol on, obviously. Oh, but before we do that, we need to do some edge highlighting with Thingamajiggle Darkness. Incubi Darkness. It will actually just do the entire thing. We accidentally... I think we might have bumped up the button by accident. Happy Monday, folks. I hope you had all had a good weekend. I had a weekend. I did finally get my website back up and running. I mean, it's not great, but I was frankly just sick of it being offline, driving me around the bend. So I did as much that needed to be done to get it up and running. I managed to remove WooCommerce and all of the plugins which were sort of running with it. And has sped up a little bit. I think the major issue I need to really resolve is the fact that the web host is using a really old version of SQL, as I understand it. People have been banging on about it for ages, so it's frustration. Probably gonna need a couple of coats of black. Shame that the reds, I don't know, the reds, it might have worked. And I know I was saying, oh, trust the process the other day. I was just thinking about it, thinking just... You can see how matte that black is. It's very, very flat. Hey, Blake, how's it going? Sorry, I do apologize. I was concentrating on painting for once rather than chatting. Happy Monday to you, Blake. We'll be painting a bit more after your pizza. What's on your pizza, Solo? So I do dual stream to Twitch and YouTube. So if I do, and unfortunately, a certain company doesn't like seeing like merged chat. They have major issues with it for some weird reason. They think the other platform's going to steal all of the other users, or I imagine. So I'm not allowed merge chat. So so Blake, for example, if you see me running my mouth and you have no idea what I'm talking about, or who I'm talking to. It's someone probably on another form, on another, you know, thingy. If you know what I mean. If you know what I mean. They get both of my. I got two printers. I've got two printers. Two printers over there, the P1S and the X1C. So they're both got those up and running. Finally, it's only taken me about 6 months to finally unbox them. It's why I've got like empty box bits over there, and well, I can't see them now, but right down there. I'm looking forward to finally starting printing out some scenery. I can't wait for that. It does mean I actually have to really get moving and painting stuff, though. How much blacker could you get? And the answer is none more black. That is true. Although, what is that? There. I know there are a couple of black paints out there. Was it black 3.0? And then there was another one as well. I know bloody, what's it? Is it Venta Black? That sounds like it might be a black. Like this is from, I mean, that is slightly ridiculous. This is Black 4.0. Okay, so I know, was it a copyright thing before? Oh, there's Musu Black as well. Or maybe that was it. Oh, Vanta Black. Oh, hold on. Is Black 4.0 darker than Vanta Black? So Black 4.0 absorbs an astonishing 99.95% of visible light. Outperforms Vanta Black's S-Visp spray-on product, which only achieves 99.8%. All right, so if you Black 4.0 is what you want, but it's also bloody expensive. How much does 46 quid get you? 150 milliliters. Trust me, I'm used to it. I mean, I wish it wasn't the case. Like I used to have merged chat. Like I've not been. Oh God, excuse me. I've not been dual streaming for too long, but I used to have merged chat, and someone came along and said you might want to not do that. Twitch have got major issues. Well, not that we're a massive channel or anything on Twitch, but that is where the majority of my users are, so I do have to kind of stay there. But anyway. Sorry, we just went off on a tangent there. Pepperoni, beef, chicken, and chili cheese. Just all the pepper. I don't know. What is your optimum pizza? For me, I usually end up going with the same bloody thing almost every time. Unless I make it myself. But usually if I order from Domino's or something, it's usually pepperoni, jalapenos, more pepperoni, and then auxiliary other bits. Unfortunately, these companies have no spine and no longer stock anchovies. They're completely spineless. Or at least the ones near me. So I used to love hosing down my pizza with anchovies and pepperoni. Just to really increase the salt content of the pizza. And they don't do it any longer. It's an absolute tragedy. But yeah, 2 printers are up and running now. I guess 2 more printers, I should say. I am going to attempt to print out, like, was it the Benchy and Scraper and the other thing they suggest printing out first. And then we're going to move on to scenery. Well, I think we'll probably do a small bit of scenery to begin with. Only making a complete pig's ear of it, but I do really want to be printing out some of that sweet scenery I've backed over the ages. We're barely painting on camera. We moved the camera again. We moved the camera again. Fan. See if I can cheat. Use the power of 4K. this way. Ah, there we go. Move it this way, then we have concern about ourselves. It's just generally missing. There we go. What's up, Beamy? How you doing today, dude? Haircut? Yes, we had a haircut. Got to get with the times, dude. You got to get with the times. That was last week. This is a whole new world, baby. I've got a haircut for the summer. Happy Monday. I hope you're well. Hope you had a good weekend. You're trying to stay cool? Surely, Beamy, surely, every day you are cool. That goes without saying, right? Every day it's a given. You are coolness personified. Right? "20 layers of black later." It's toasty. How toasty is it with you? Like, I know it's getting toasty for us later in the week. Like at the arse end of this month. Sorry, this week. Say the arse end. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I think. It's supposed to be pain and suffering. Never before have I suffered as much as I'm... Okay, it's actually temperatures have gone down a little. Ouch. But we've got what do we got? Absolute. That was the Texas flight. So we've got Thursday. Apologies, is when it goes up. Wednesday is going to be tolerable. Thursday less so. Friday definitely less so. Saturday's going to be all right. Sunday's going to be very intolerable. Intolerable? Yeah, whatever. I'm sticking with it. Now, I was under the impression that it said it was going up to 33 this week. They've evidently changed their mind. Hopefully they don't change it again for the worse. Glad to have AC. Well, I technically have AC right here, but I think it's getting old. I'm gonna need to get a geezer in to come and sort of probably refill it up with air conditioner juice, to be honest. I don't know how often you're supposed to do it, seeing as it's not really something we ever really deal with in the past in this country. But now it seems to be, I suppose I should probably get some geezer to come and fill it up with whatever air conditioner juice. I'm calling it air conditioner juice. Gas. It might be cheaper to get... Really? Oh, damn. Like, how long does it... How long does that sort of air conditioner stuff last before you need it to get sort of topped up or whatever? I'm really not... Like, I lived in the States for 3 years, but I lived in, you know, rented accommodation, and the landlord did all that sort of stuff. I didn't have to bother with it. The Freon? Oh, really? Well, I mean, it was only 200. It was basically this donation right here. So, if we get this massive donation, you know, worked on, then I can work on getting a new air conditioner as well. Then everyone's a winner. Hey Blake, what's going on, dude? Most people just get new units. That is not very, you know. You got to, in this world, you've got to be friendly. What is it? Green friendly? I can't even remember what the words are. Geezers, only people of age can service AC units. Basically, I know I can't. Like, it's terrible. I am not good at fixing things. I wish I was. I'm good at breaking things. That is one of the talents I have. I can break things quite well. Like I can vaguely look at a computer and attempt to fix it, but the problem is, like, beyond like literally swapping out parts and stuff like that, for example, like with a computer, like running down problems is such a headache. I hate it. You can probably do it yourself. Yeah, probably. I can also probably exploderize myself if I get something wrong. And Freon's not exactly, you gotta be competent, right? Can you kill yourself with that, hypothetically? If you do something incorrectly? Seems like, you know, those gases ending in eon, or on. Oxygen. Oh, yeah, like, you know, argon, freon, Cylon. That wasn't an element though, was it? No idea. I've got no idea. Me. I'm trying to remember my school. I was trying to remember my like school science classes. What are we doing here? Why have we got the brush in? Painting the wrong thing. This is what. Lucian, you're an element. Hello, Lucian. Which Lucian are you? Are you are you a Lucian I know, or are you a brand new Lucian? Working on collecting them all, apparently. But hello there. How are you? Happy Monday to you. Right. Right. We decided to paint over the red sword thingy, chainsword, because it did not look as much as I wanted it to. It was not going to work. It's not Freon, it's something else. Oh, okay, something similar. Oh, okay. Well, I will look into it. I mean, obviously, you know, if I can fix something by myself, then I would obviously like to attempt it and save a little bit of money. Okay. We need to break out the other stuff in a moment. Don't mind me, I'm just playing around with fissionable nuclear material. Bloody hell. You look after yourself. You must listen. I don't want to be, don't blame me if it goes. Leave a lurk if necessary. I don't want to be the cause of like the meltdown of like the entire east side or wherever the hell you are of a country. That would be bad. Happy Monday. Thought you'd try this YouTube malarkey. How are you liking it? Like, how is, like, I do occasionally watch streams on, you know, YouTube. It is weird. Like, I can't quite, like, problem is, I've been on YouTube and then, you know, Justin TV before that. For what seems like at least a decade. Working into the second decade or something. Whenever Justin TV was around, like, I've been on the other platform for so long. Chatting in a YouTube chat is like slightly weird to me, and I'm not used to it. And they have very juicy emotes. Yes. I no idea if and when I'm allowed emotes on YouTube. It would be great if I was, but I've had no one's told me. I've had no emails. I've had no emails. But what actually, hold on. Let me hold on. Let me while we're talking about Ultramarines, I think, therefore I am. That video public? Oh no, it's not. We need to edit this so that it goes. I need to schedule this. When do we make it public? No, hold on. Members only now. When do we make it from members to public? I guess. Well, it looks like tomorrow's gonna. No, we're gonna do. Let me change the date, you muppet. $6 to this evening. It doesn't really seem. I really need to look at my analytics, but there we go. Save that bad boy. Yes. Okay. Gabba, what's up, you saucy rascal? Automod always getting you. Sorry, Gabba. You keep that. I keep that thing in a job. What thing? Dun, dun, dun. All right. So we are going to use. We've gone over that with. I'm not entirely sure what we're doing with this little bit here. It seems like it needs something. And I really think this probably could do with another coat of red. Once we've got an initial coat of gloss paint on this bad boy, while that's drying, we'll put some more red on those bad boys. But first of all, before we get to those bad boys, we have to do some other bad boys. Automod. Cursed Automod. Do apologize. Yeah. Cubic. Oh. Thanks, Nightbot. You're a legend. Just order some 8K resin in grey. Hell yeah. Back in 30. Rock on. Drive safely, dude. All right. Keep your eyes on the road. Twitch on stream is better. I think it is. You know, it is. Okay, we're going to do some edge highlighting. And chunky edge highlighting at that. I think for streaming, I mean, I would be happy to. I'm not averse to watching streams on YouTube. I certainly do watch that. But I think just the sort of thing in general, a lot better, is currently a lot better, and hopefully they'll, you know, other platforms improve. Theme. What did you all get up to over the weekend? Were you all behaving yourselves? Or were you being naughty? can't get up to them much at the moment. Can you get up to ordering miniatures from, you know, Games Workshop or Element Games using my affiliate link? What a segue that was. What a segue that was. You buggered your rib? Christ. How the hell did you do that? You got to look after yourself. Come on. Well, that's a bit of a nightmare. I keep remembering that Nightbot also puts out the same code. It's slightly irritating, and I've been saying that for weeks now, months. So I need to really remedy. I've been thinking about using it to get an Argus lighter. An Argus lighter, but just... I read that in my brain as an Argos lighter. Like the Argos version of the Argus lighter. Not like not a you know, cigarette or fire lighter. But I just spent a not small amount on a collectible figure or two. Well, then just getting the Argus lighter as well. Going to be a drop in the ocean compared to the larger purchases already done. So I don't think you're really making, you know, that is mostly water, I think, that paint. Argos lighter replete with the small blue pen. Laminated Book of Dreams. Tears, excuse me, not dreams. Was it dreams or tears? It was tears, wasn't it? Bill Bailey, yeah. You know, I've not seen that show in a while, actually. I need to make the effort and watch it again. I do remember, like, wading through the Argos catalogue. Like, round about Christmas time, my brothers and I would just get the latest one and sort of start looking, going like, ooh, like that one. I like that thing. Yeah, I saw Bill. So when Bill Bailey did a they did a thing at the Lyceum Theatre where Lion King was on a was it a Sunday or a Monday? Show would have finished at Sunday. It would have been a Monday night. Sunday would have been not nearly enough time. Bill Bailey did he did a show for it was called Orangeade, basically, because it was for orangutans, like a sort of charity deal. Orange, it can't spell. I'm gonna Google this because frankly, I went to it with my brother. Even going to say anything about it. Loads of random old articles, but nothing from like late noughties to about, you know, old Billy Boy. The Wilderness? No, it was I don't know, I'm sure he would have like reused some of his jokes from, you know, his previous stand-ups. But there was Rang Utan? Oh, 2009. In aid of the Sumatran Orangutan Society. Round about May. A selection of the finest cult comedians come together for Orangeade, a very special night of comedy in aid of the Sumatran Orangutan Society in London next month. So it would have been June. Headlining a night of comedy with fresh new material is SOS patron Bill Bailey, who will be joined by fellow musical virtuoso Tim Minchin. The star-studded lineup also included Jason Manford, Nina Conti, and Alistair Barry, with a special guest appearance on the night from the Mighty Bush's Bolo. Simon Munnery will host the evening, which has been held at London's Lyceum Theatre, home to the West End's Lion King, on Monday, June the 1st. See, I remembered one thing about it. It was on a Monday. And she'll treat the audience to over 3 hours of hilarious stand-up comedy. Hilarious. Yeah. Anyway. Ticket prices, 20 to 25 quid. I'm not massive. I can't. Her name's not really bringing many back. For some reason. But I think we are gonna paint some more red. And then more edge highlighting. But we're gonna get the basic buttery biscuit. This color down first. Need more paint in a moment. Hazard Stripe? She does ventrilo. Oh, okay. No Hazard Stripe. Believe in this black. I decided the red it was too weird. While I think Hazard Stripe may work, I don't have the patience to do it. If I ever get patience to do it, I can always reprint another arm and just redo it. Yeah, I mean that I would say that is one of the things I do like about 3D print. If you make a balls up of something, or you know, you want to change something later, and you bear that in mind when putting it together, like maybe magnetizing. I won't be magnetizing this at all. I'm kind of not into the magnetizing thing. Although I bought loads of magnets in the past, I've sort of gone off the idea of it. I did find my big tubby boy's left hand, which is fun. So that's one less. I've just got to find his head now. Got to find his bonce, and then we can. Well, I suppose we're missing like the hand with the knife and the hand with the bell. I think I would like to do the hand with the bell. I can remember. I can't remember which hand goes where though. You got a call today. Hello, I'm from BT Open Reach. We see you've been having errors and warnings on your device. Oh yeah. What else do they say? Are they trying to sell you something? Were they actually from BT? That these days, that's like the biggest thing. Are you actually from BT? Rather hard to tell. No, they weren't. Utter toe rag. Like back when I was driving, I used to always get like, "We've seen you've been in an accident," or "We see you've been in," you know. You could be do some money. And I still like, I've not actually had them in a while, truth be told, but when I did get them, after I'd sold my car and decided that I was going to stop driving, basically, I still got those things, and I ended up saying to quite a lot of them, "Listen, you muppet, I don't drive anymore. I don't have a legal driving license. If I was in an accident, I shouldn't have been driving. I'm sure the other people are going to get the money." Yes. Avian Thulian, thank you so much for the 78 months. Dude, how you doing? Eleni, hello, how you doing? What's cracking? Happy Monday to you. Squash bananas. And Stu. I swear I don't always have that problem. Just today. Hold on, I missed out loads of chat. Damn it, I was rambling. I asked questions and they were, all you need to do is this. I started laughing and they called me a fucking idiot. Insulting you? Definitely BT then. Absolutely. Report them and say, look, I spoke to some of your customer service agents, Mr. BT, and they were swearing at me. I think I demand I was going to say reparations. That's not the right word, is it? Cash money. At least some free, juicy data. Thank you. And then they're like, no, it wasn't our people. Well, it wasn't Bazza from down the road. All right, let me catch up with chat properly. You said nice try. Eleni, hello. Avian, thank you so much for hitting that resub button. How are you doing? Happy Monday to you. Eleni, I am groovy, baby. I am sort of. I did some tidying. I got two printers over there, which I've finally unboxed. I finally removed the bits of foam in there, which have been holding me back from printing more. We've done the startup things, so tomorrow I'm going to do an actual print on them. I think if I can brave it. Happy Monday, yes. Badger spam, yes. Unfortunately, chat is faster than video for me. Really, clearly, potentially. I don't know. All right, Avian. Yes, finally. It's only taken me. Look. It's only taken me about 6 months to turn that bad boy on. Hello. I need to give him claws and repaint him and this bad boy. But they're both finally on and usable. So I can start printing out weird things. Yes. Oh, bugger. Where my face is. It's there. So yeah. Taking me forever. Unfortunately, it does mean like we are going to have to eventually get rid of this box, which I've been using having this box up here as an excuse for going, oh, I'm just keeping that for when I empty the other final big printer. So I can put like all the smaller detritus into it and then get rid of it all in one. So that we have that box to dispose of and another box there. And then another box full of other random things in. Enough printers? Never. Never enough printers. Do you have more time? No, I don't. Get rid of it? Eleni, come on now. It's serving a purpose. I did find a book, by the way, which I think I used to like it as growing up. And as a result, I still like it. Called Things by Roger Hargreaves. Trash. It's not. What? I mean, it might be trash. I will get rid of it. I promise. I have to, really. Ugh, it's very stressful. If he doesn't have more time prints, then it's not the real badger, but a cunning decoy. I've never had any more time prints. I mean, I don't know if I don't know. Well, when you say more time prints, can you clarify what you mean? I never knew badger had legs. I've been enlightened. Lenny, they're good legs. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, my knees are buggered, but apart from that, they're good. They work and everything. Why don't I have more time prints? Well, okay. Here's the thing. All right, I'm going to tell you one of the things. I need to break out the keyboard. Then we can look at this book, by the way. All right. Ah! What's up, Dave? Imagine not having bad knees. I know. Can't you imagine? That would be so good. We on the right page? Not yet, because... Are you telling us you've never printed out any... No. Well, the thing... I'm going to show you. Hold on to your underwear. What's up, Dave? Yeah, well, we literally just stopped. If you came in earlier, you would have seen the painting. Unfortunately, we're now on a little break. Because people have got me sidetracked. And it's all their fault. So I do have these sorts of more time adjacent prints. We've got the undead sort of warband right here, if it's going to load up. So we got an undead warband. We have a witch scourgers warband right here, which is all very more timey. And then we got the exiled knights, who are kind of dodgy Bretonians. I mean, let's face it, all Bretonians are dodgy, but we'll leave that for another article. So we do have that, but then we also have, like, I mean, I've got all the Terror Block stuff, for example, which is all like more timey scenery. Julian, hello. Top 3 favorite Space Marine legions is Blood Angels, closely followed by Thousand Suns, and more distantly Iron Warriors. Well, for me, Imperial Fists, Ultramarines, and then, well, I have just painted some World Eaters, but I think I'm going to say Death Guard. I do have Iron Warriors, some. That keeps the living rulebook. And there are Etsy prints for more, not for too much longer. They're not going to be much Etsy prints too long for too much longer, Avian, because of Etsy just completely changed their TOS. You'd probably do undead if you got back into more time. You should get back into more time, Lucian. Seriously. Blood Angels, don't kid yourself. I mean, I have a Blood Angel bit next to me. Eleni, by the way, can you talk to me about your knees if it's not too personal? What do you do to make them good? I just ignore it and just like grumble whenever they're clicking and popping and making it. I have a bit of a Blood Angel jetpack right there. Sons of Sanguinius. They literally changed it the day before my birthday, on like the 24th or maybe the 23rd of June. So with Etsy, like what I do, I basically spent 2 months transferring things from Shopify into Etsy, changing each and every individual listing. So it was sort of like Etsy compatible. So I moved over about 300 items and then finished basically updating everything to Etsy like halfway through June maybe or something like that. I still hadn't activated everything, but everything was on there. And yeah, day before my birthday or whatever, they said, yeah, if you get a commercial license from a creator of a 3D print, you're now no longer allowed to sell it. You have to be the original creator to sell the print. That is it. There's no commercial licensed merchants like myself, and also there are no naughty illegal people doing it as well, which sucks. It's a nightmare. There we go. Because all those warbands are not 100% like the old warbands. It's their interpretation. Yeah, it's a complete nightmare, Avian. So I have started moving everything over to eBay as well. Unfortunately, with eBay, you can only list, like as I discovered, up to 50 grand's worth of stuff. And because I listed everything, it was like, right, I'll list 10 units of skeleton warriors, 10 units of skeleton warriors with halberds, 10 units of skeleton archers. Like, so those numbers quickly ramped up, and then I've got like I think 100 things listed on eBay, and I got another 200 to list. No, that's a lie. I have 50 things listed on eBay. So I need to go through each listing and like drop the amount back to basically 1 or 2. Sucks. Now, if you can find a cheap license for the Chaos Clowns or the Nuns. Literally last week, Blake. Literally last week. Hold on, there might have been... Sorry, not last week, the week before. Round about the week of my birthday. The birthday present, Etsy basically said, you know what? We're going to make you waste 2 months of work. Enjoy. Utter toe rags. However, I'm going to keep my Etsy page because I will sell stuff on it, but stuff that I've painted. We got this book. I don't remember. It's pretty PG. Yes. You wonder why? Well, the thing is, there are a few problems on Etsy. Firstly, there are filthy pirates on Etsy who just basically get an STL from wherever, and whether they and sell it, and basically sell the prints or indeed the files without having a merchant license from the actual creator. So you get filthy pirates. That is a major issue. I've certainly reported a bunch of the people to like the original creator for them to sort of grumble to Etsy to. And then the other thing is like people like myself who have a legitimate merchant license from a creator or whatnot, or via a Kickstarter. As a result, there are loads of loads of items for basically loads of listings for basically the same thing. And Etsy is all about, oh, it's all got to be handmade and artistic and by, you know, the original creator, rather than a listing for basically 50 different creators selling the exact same stuff with the exact same stock image. It is, I mean, I am very frustrated about it. And I'm just very frustrated about it, but I do kind of understand at the same time. But if I type in, for example, Ragnar handmade in China, yeah, well, I mean, for example, okay, I'm going to share this screen with you, okay? We've got a couple of different creators here. 3 creators. 3 creators there. 5 creators. Six creators with that one. 7 creators. That's 7 different creators, and they all basically... I'm not going to go through each and every one, just to... Unfortunately, it's going to have to trust me on this, bro. There's at least 7 of them, and even if they're all legitimate merchants, right, from Highland Miniatures, they're all going to be listing the exact same stuff with the exact same pictures, and that's just 7 items. 7 sellers. Etsy does not want to be taking down things for licensing, yeah. I do agree. I mean, what was the I'm just trying to remember. I just also, happy Monday to you, Ragnar. How you doing, dude? I have my P1S and my X1C. They've been turned on. I'm slightly nervous about typing this in. I don't know if this is what I want to be looking for. Because I watched briefly a YouTube video on this very issue, but it was basically this. I'll show you the problem. Like, I typed in articulated dragon. So you get a lot of different people just selling all of these sorts of basically the same thing. I don't know. I haven't typed in the exact file to sort of narrow it down to specific things. But these are all basically the same from huge amounts of people, and it ends up looking like eBay and bloody Ali, Dubry Firkins, and all the other places. We always trust you, Badger. Well, as hopefully as you should do. Like, I don't intend to mislead or lie to anyone. Like, I'm sure I've been wrong in the past about many things. Obviously not Nagash. I'm always correct on that, and will die on that hill of correctness. Actually, I'm going to stop scrolling on that before we accidentally get to Naughty Dragons. Actually, weirdly, just even thinking about that briefly, I do believe that Etsy stopped. When I was skimming over the merchant thing, and then one of the articles I read also said, oh yeah, about 3 years ago, Etsy stopped selling, allowing people to sell, you know, how do people phrase it? Marital aids, I think. You know? Yeah. Yeah, no, people, I haven't removed my items yet, frankly, because I'm bad to the bone. However, I'm not going to bother. I'm going to see what everyone else does, basically. I'm going to copy what the other people do. Shoulder massagers, yes. Naughty dragons. Like, well, I should clarify. 3D printed ones. 3D printed ones, because apparently people were 3D printing these sorts of things and selling them, which is frankly wild. Exactly, Avian. Now I'm all for experimenting, but there is a line. There is a line, and that line is, well, right there. Okay. Well, at least they're extra ribbed. Yeah, get those massive layer lines. Just ribbed for her pleasure. I think that was a quote. That was a quote from Wayne's World, I believe. Which is something I've not seen in probably verging on a decade or two now. Okie dokie, a tiny bit more, and then we can consider getting a little bit of varnish on. Ribbed for your pain. Well, that was a quote from the TV ads, and then it breaks. Yeah, I don't even want to like. I don't even really want to consider that. Like, it's just... Anyway, so folks, Horus Heresy 3.0 is coming out this week. Well, coming out for pre-order this weekend, which is actually weirdly quicker than I realized. Although I knew it was coming out, I was thinking it was coming out for pre-order at the end of this month. I wasn't thinking it's actually released at the end of this month. Pop culture reference in the movie. Who knew? Oh, that was a quote from the TV ads. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Hey, Rusty. You play Orc Freebooters? Hell yeah. I do, like, I certainly remember the original Freebooters. I do like them as a unit, certainly within the Orcs. My brother used to collect Orcs, and I think he had a unit of Freebooters, although, unfortunately, those models have since gone. No idea where they are. Terrible. That was many moons ago, though. There was a hot minute where condoms had adverts on TV. Well, I vaguely remember some of them. I also remember going into various pubs. Gonna sound dodgy already. And seeing, like, you know, when you go to these sorts of places and they have like things like in the bath, in the toilets, or like the restroom. It was a machine on the wall, and you put money into it, and you could buy basically condoms, or whatever the hell they were selling. This was certainly the gents. No idea about the ladies. Maybe they had them as well. Who knows? But one that always stuck in my mind. One was flavored lager and lime. Like it was just a horrifying thought. Just in general. Oh, seriously. I don't know whoever came up with that. Maybe they'd had a few too many lagers. So what do you think the hats mean? Which hats are we talking about? Avian. I'm just necking some tea before it gets too cold. Even though we got the hot button going. You never seen that here in NC? Yeah. Well, this was admittedly like in England, late 80s, early 90s. I just remember seeing it a couple of times in like a couple of different pubs. And it's always like, I mean, flavored in general. Anyway, I don't want to get too far down that conversation, but it evidently burned some sort of memory into my brain. And it's just like slightly horrifying. No, the women's bathroom sells tampons. Oh, that makes sense. Back when you were high school, you had a janitorial job. Well, when I was at college in the States, I had a janitorial job as well for a year. But I don't think we never went into the ladies' toilets, bathrooms, or the gents for that matter. I think we just did like everything but the bathrooms. There was a teaser for the Warhammer reveal with Eddie and Adam wearing hats. Oh, was it more time? Was it more time? Anything good? I didn't watch the reveal, Avian. I don't even know when it was. When was it? Bathroom vending machines are common in some states. Most sell that and deodorant and feminine product. I mean, it certainly makes sense. And like, I think in the past, sometimes, like deodorant or like, you know, like those sort of disposable toothbrush thing, which was like, it was like a sort of, it was a bit of toothpaste and then like with a brush, and you sort of like pulled it apart and then turned it 180 degrees and turned it back together, so you had like a mini toothbrush with some toothpaste for emergencies or something like that. I mean, I do think that is a good idea in a pinch, but like a slightly strange place in a pub, I suppose. Unless you somehow get lucky and be like, bloody hell, I'm going to need to spruce myself up. They should have an entire sort of box of like emergency supplies. Leave it at that. I've got an itchy nose. Hey Rusty, how are you doing today? How was your Monday? I hope you had a good weekend. I promise we don't always talk about this topic. It just tend to ramble, end up in weird places. One summer job, never did it again. Yeah, I did the janitorial thing for about a year when I was in the States on because the first year of my visa, I could only work within the college grounds. And there weren't many jobs. What was this conversation devolved into from 3D printing to janitorial engineering discussion? Yeah, well, Blake, we started off at 3D printing. We segued slightly into 3D printing marital aids, let's say. And then that sort of segued on to, well, prophylactics, essentially, and then janitorial jobs. Well, yeah, you know, we had a ran the entire gamut of conversations. I think what we are going... I think, you know what? We are going to gloss varnish this bad boy relatively soon. However, I am going to edge highlight this quickly. Well, quickly. No reveal yet. Oh, okay. I have not watched... Is this on Warhammer Dubry Firkins? Pirate hat, top hat. Leprechaun style. Wizard hat. Pirate hat. Yo. Pirate hat. Pirates of Sartosa. Let's go. Yes. Pirates of Sartosa. Let's go. That's going to happen. It's going to be a thing. If they don't do it, I'm going to be incredibly disappointed in them. And they don't want my levels of disappointment leveled at them. It's on YouTube. Oh, okay. Going to use hot glue to make your Skaven look like they're standing in a swamp. Be careful of that hot end, though. All right? No, I don't need to tell you that. But just in case. Just be wary. Hold on. We are going to edge highlight. I'm just trying to remember what blue I used. I used Ultramarine. Was it Ultramarine blue? I need to get magic blue. Warhammer. Oh. Where's that video gone? Did I preview call incoming? Okay, let's look at this together, ladies and jelly spoons. As a God, if I can locate the right button. Or at least watch it. Witch hunters, inquisitor. Who? That's like a. Okay, that's like more time. Pirates of Sartosa, witch hunters, Chaos Dubry Firkins, the Chaos cultists, right? The redemption. Yeah, we're going more time, baby. It's freaking happening. It's absolutely happening. More time. Warhammer finally come to their senses and realized they needed more money. They're re-releasing more time. Cowboy hat. Yeah, they're going to bring in a new faction. What's happening? Cowboys. There are now. Much like there's a, you know, I mean, horses, and they need people looking after horses, and people need to eat. Obviously, there are cows or sort of cow type beasts rolling around the fantasy universe. Of course, there are cowboys. Of course, there are. But we already have. No. That's Age of Sigmar. No one cares about that. Avian, that. Wartime is in like the old world, right? Wartime is in like the fantasy universe. Age of Sigmar is in its own thing, and no one likes the cow elves anyway. So there we go. It's definitely happening. Well, so I used Ultramarine blue and then Magic blue and then Electric blue for and then something else, but we'll just give him a bit of an edge highlight with the old Magic blue. Hopefully that will help a little bit. Rich roast. Smooth and rich. I was going to say something and then I realized. Oh. Okay, a little bit of this. Let me get the keyboard. Caught me just as I was about to start painting again. Thank you so much for the raid. How you doing today, Chris? Happy Monday. I hope you're well. How was your weekend, and what the devil have you been up to today? Do a shout out. Folks on my side, you know how to follow. At the top of your chat, there should be a heart. And it will say, join us in following Chris. And there'll be a heart at the other side of on the same level. Make sure you're following. Follows are free. It's very, very easy. Even I can do it. Captain Mannerings, hello. How you doing today? Happy Monday to you. What's going on? Chris is painting unicorn. Unicorns from where? I'm just trying to think. The only unicorn I'm aware of is in the old world, Britonia, right? Old what's the features? Old what's the features? Right? I mean, I'm aware there are more miniatures than just Warhammer. I am aware of that. But I was thinking, because we were just talking about the old world, basically, I think that's the only one I'm aware of in the old world. I don't know if there are any in Age of Sigmar. I wouldn't mind getting this mini at some point. Rather snazzy. Think he's running to get food. I completely understand. I have to do the same thing. Like, as soon as I've finished streaming, it is my brain is already shutting down, and I'm just the only thing I can really think about is showering, food, and just relaxing for an hour before getting back to work. I completely understand. She's been converted to a spell singer. Oh, for the Wood Elves. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Actually, do the Wood Elves have unicorns? I'm not massively familiar with the Wood Elf faction. I know they have some weird sort of horsey things. I'm just having a quick scroll through. They've got Wood elf noble on a great stag. Orion, the king of the woods. The wood elf beast pack. Wow. Wow. I don't think I was even aware of that kit. Yeah, they don't seem to have elves. Oh, elves. Unicorns. Oh, there might in the listings and stuff like that. Yeah, maybe. That makes sense. Captain Mannings, how was your weekend and how was your Monday going? I'm just gonna got my brush on the floor, and I'm gonna use that as an excuse to do that. We were just about to start doing a tiny smidgen of edge highlighting, but now I'm actually intrigued. I'm gonna have a quick look at the old world. Have a very quick look at the old world. Wood elves. Wait, where have you gone, Sunshine? Three boys. Bell singer. Yeah, there it is. Unicorn. The old spell singer. I did fight, so that is indeed the unicorn. There we go. I did find my big bird over the weekend. Actually, no, the day before, sometime last week, my general on Griffin for my Empire army. I think we are going to get back to painting him because, like, he was never fully finished. He was just kind of good enough. I wasn't really happy with him. Sorry for not. Rusty Bot, you never need to apologize for not yapping. It's groovy. Don't you worry. Okay, weekend chill. It was pretty good. I mean, it was mostly work and some editing and stuff like that, and then some house tidying stuff and. Looking forward to I'm still suffering from the whole Etsy issue. I don't think I can bring myself to buy a merchant license on Cursed, like my mini factory. But today just worked. We did have a danger burb that. Hold on. The danger bird, tree next one. What kind of bird are we talking about, Captain Mannerings? Gabba, you utter hussy. How's it going, dude? Happy Monday to you. I'm glad you got home safely, obviously. Oh, some decent pick. Oh, the Sparrowhawk. Oh, crikey. I'm trying to remember the last time I saw one of those. That was a big old chunk. Well, I don't mind the chunky highlight here. But I'm going to do a highlight along there. I was trying to think what do I normally see? Like red kites, buzzards, there's some other pesky thing that I keep forgetting the name of. Today is not going to be there, I remember either. Did lots on the Sentinel this weekend. Base and legs all done. And so is the inside of the cab. Has it been an easy paint or relatively easy, Gabba? Rusty, my girl bought me my very first Dreadnought for Christmas last year. But I'm so used to my sloppy orc paint style, I'm worried a bit to kit bash up my big boy. Any advice for painting dreads? You say you're converting yours. Like, is it going to be converting to an orc Dreadnought? Or is it going to be like a conversion to like another sort of slightly more divergent or something chapter? Generally not worry. I would, that would be my first thing. Not worrying is, you know, worst case scenario, paint can be stripped. That's what I tend to say. And if you paint, you know, in thin enough layers, then you're going to be fine. Things are going to be okay. There's been an influx of birds of prey in the UK. Cougars, Gabba, that's what they're called. Cougars. I think that's the phrase. Oh, Kestrel. Yeah, Arquez. Of course, Kestrel. Yeah, I don't normally see sparrowhawks. I mean, we're not massively in the country. But you do see a lot of red kites, like especially along main roads. And where a friend of my mum's has a sort of house in the country. And there's like a buzzard always chilling around there and some owls, which is lovely to see. Pretty simple, just some bits need to be done. Sort of a sub-assembly. We got a barn owl. Oh, very nice. Lovely. We see them the most, but other than that, buzzards and kestrels. Not seen. I mean, I have seen a sparrowhawk, but I get so I have to do a double take. And usually I have to quickly Google, be like, is that what I saw? Like, yes. That is what you saw. Then custom purple and yellow. Holy moly. With gold metal underneath. The more damage, the more gold. I already painted a marine this way. You like it, just a bit intimidated. Well, I do understand the sort of... I do understand that feeling. For example, I have like a Titan to paint at some point. I am slightly intimidated by that, but it's also not built at the moment, so I'm okay. I'm not going to accidentally have to paint it tomorrow, for example. Like, you certainly don't need. I mean, airbrushes make things more efficient, like when it comes to time, and it can give you a smoother finish, but you can certainly get a pretty similar finish with a brush anyway. So when it comes to painting purple, one of the best colors, well, magenta is one of the best colors. Purple is pretty bloody close. More kites, yeah. It's crazy. Like going between this house and my brother's through the fens is quite a lot of them. It's like all along that farmland and the roads. But what I would do is, Rusty, I'm assuming, is it one of these dreadnoughts, like one of these older? Admittedly, this is 3D printed. Or is it one of the newer? I'd imagine it's like the Redemptor Dreadnought or Ballistus or the other one that I keep forgetting. I would take it bit by bit. Like, for example, like a lot of a Dreadnought is going to be basically just metal, like bits. And then the armor panels are the only sort of bits you really need to worry about when it comes to painting. A lot of those can be done in sub-assemblies. So if you can probably tackle the sub-assemblies, if you want to go down that route, consider doing this, like the arms separately and stuff like that. You work in defendant, so you see them every day. Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know how much I drive. I don't. I mean, I can drive, not legally. Got to get this thing done before I get too sidetracked. I want to get some varnish on this thing. I do like seeing, like, where we used to live in Wiltshire, there were loads of red kites around there. God, are we going to paint on camera today? Maybe. Ah, you know what? That's good enough for Disney. Don't mind if this highlights that. Truth be told. Okay, I reckon that's going to be viable. We want to smash some varnish on it, and then we can wait for it to dry while we get back to painting the guns, and then slap on a transfer, and then varnish the entire thing. Hey, what's up, Squeezle? How you doing? Happy Monday. What's going on, dude? How's it looking? I'm starting to melt in this room. I might need to turn the fan on. It's a newer melee, so that's the my brain is telling me incandescent. Oh. It's a Dreadnought. So I'm going to remind myself. I need to turn this fan on. I'm actually going to start melting any moment. Squeezle, how's your weekend been? I hope it was groovy, baby. And I hope Monday is going to be magnificent. Where the bloody hell is it? Here we go. The Brutalis, that's it. Okay, I'd actually forgotten there were quite so many armor panels on it, truth be told. Is there, they don't have the turnaround version? No, great, of course they don't. Right, well that helps. That really helps show off what I had. Do I don't know where my Dreadnought is. My Redemptor chassis Dreadnought is. I mean, there are quite a few panels, but I would concentrate on brush painting. Right, Rusty. Somber trip away. Oh dear. Came back to Texas dodging ice. I heard about that as well. Bloody hell. Not something you see too often, is it? I hope the week the trip away was like not too awful. It's every few years, really. All he uses brushes. I mean, I'm about to use the airbrush, but I still do like. I'm not one of those people who has to use an airbrush every single time. I'm not going to be. I'm not addicted. But yeah, I would just say thin coats. I would probably do as much of the metal chassis as you can probably do. I'm not familiar with this kit, with how it goes together. So I don't know how many of these armor plates can be left off until basically the last. I would leave as many of the armor plates off as possible, and then just undercoat the entire thing with steel or maybe gold. Hold on. Am I on the right scene? No, thankfully I'm not. I'm not going to show you this filthy needle. Oh my god. Absolute travesty. What the? Space Marines, the only thing GW will stock replace. Listen, they're going to replace the Catechins, all right? Going to happen, Gabba. Going to bloody happen. All right? I checked. They said we're totally going to do it. No, they didn't. I didn't bother checking because I know that they don't have the guts. They're scared by the Catechin warriors. That's the truth of it. Just the thought of the command squad rocking up is a scary thought for them. I thought you were about to say, I hope your trip was effervescent. Well, you know what? Sometime these sort of somber trips, whatever variety, sometimes a lot of them are sort of champagne powered and quite literally effervescent. Like, all right, well, it's another toast. Gonna need some more champagne, lads. I was always terrible at making toasts, though, so that wasn't really my. Didn't have to go do that very. You're just a cheaper. There's nothing wrong with. Hey, listen. Money doesn't grow on trees. However, if you find that money does grow on trees, all I'm going to say is, where is it? God, wrong scene. Damn it! All I'm going to say is, we do have a massive goal now. The Horus Heresy box is coming up for pre-order this Saturday. So that's all I'm going to say on that front. Wiggly eyebrows all over the place. Yeah, I think that's generally how I do it. Like for this one, I just slapped on the steel paint as quickly as I could. Now, depending on what kind of gold you're doing, I know some people basically will paint the chassis steel, and then they'll paint over the steel with a contrast paint, like I don't know which one they use, like a brownish yellow one, to sort of have a basically, which works quite well with the steel underneath, give a metallic effect. If that makes any sense. If it doesn't make any sense, I can show you my Instagram really quickly what I did a hot minute ago, admitted. So those are my World Eaters. Love this one. So if I look at, where are we? Where is, I'm not going to show you that one because that was a poor job. That was red's contrast paint over gold. I will show you, where is it? Where's that Alpha Legion? Being sneaky, that's where he is. So this was regular steel paint. I edge highlighted it with some silver. And then went over that with some thinned down contrast paint of Arcalian green, I think. So that can give you a metallic effect. And it can give you, like, you can convert steel to like a goldish paint. Rich roast brown. No. They didn't. I wonder how compatible the Bane Blade and the Fell Blade will be. With some more guard regiments could benefit from variation. But I reckon they need a... Well, we saw the miniature of the conversion someone did. But basically a Bane Blade was a massive flamethrower on. Which, frankly, the Catechins need. I don't know what variant that would be. But it needs to be a massive... Like the Malcador Infernus. But bigger. More fire on it. And maybe like some artillery as well on the sides. Just a cheeky bit of artillery. I'm probably going to eat base with Corax White than Retributor Gold. Well, thank you very much, Rusty. I do appreciate it. Admittedly, I've not been using Instagram much recently. I know I need to change that. I'm just not not great at it at the moment. Social media in general is not my strong point at the moment. We'll fix it eventually. Story. I wonder how combatable the yeah. I'm probably gonna okey-doke. Right. So contrast paint. Not contrast paint. Gloss varnish. Gonna put a tiny bit down. We're going to put a tiny little bit down of this, and then we're going to move on to paint the red guns and do some edge highlighting. And then hopefully we can slap down the Ultramarine transfer sometime before this afternoon finishes. Normally I do a 4-hour stream. I think as the temperature gets hotter, I will be dropping that down potentially. That might mean I have to do another stream or something at some other point of the week. But okay, I mean, we're not going to need much. Oops. Well, we're going to do more, apparently. I suppose we could actually slap some varnish onto this as well, actually. Not a complete catastrophe. We need to turn the air... I post on there sometimes, but I'm going to let you work your magic. Well, thank you very much, Rusty. I do stream 3 days a week on Twitch and YouTube. Well, Monday and Tuesday on Twitch and YouTube. Wednesdays, sometimes only Twitch. Just because of, like, a music situation. Ragnar, hold on. Do you want to see the Deathwing Knight progress badge? Yes. Go for, of course, Sabian. Of course I want to see what you're up to. Was that a... No, we dropped nothing. We don't drop things on this stream. That's a bit of a lot. Mr. Hive Tyrant, hello. Happy Monday to you. How are you? I hope you're well and had a magnificent weekend. I've been slowly working on getting this brush vaguely back into some semblance of life, because it was absolutely horrific in the good old days. I just really, honestly, I just use it for mixing paint I'm about to yeet through an airbrush, but it was well skanky before. You painted a Norn Emissary? Hello. That is the big one, isn't it? There are two different big ones. I think we're going to have to do a couple of coats. Not necessarily two. Oh my god. We might be doing some. Yeah. Clean all this up. Oh, by the way, I don't know when we're going to be painting this boy. I've actually got to stick him together. But we will be painting up this Ultramarine at some point. Maybe March from a Craggy 2026 will do him. Although we do have 9 rhinos to attempt. You know, is that actually... I'm going to have to check the model again. I think that's sculpted on detail. I think that, like... bit of gold, whatever it's supposed to be, has been ripped off by something. I'm going to have to double check. I don't want to have to reprint it. Anyway. What pigment is Rich Roast? I would say it's probably kind of verging on burnt umber. But maybe with a smidgen of warm sienna in there. Raw sienna, sorry, not warm sienna. I did not drop that miniature. How dear. We drop nothing unless it's a banging beat. Absolutely. Nothing but banging beats, left, right, and center. Okay, and whip. Hold on. Give me one moment, my friend. Please. Need to. Ugh. I drop things all the time. I just hope not to roll over. When that is like, I do like the rolling chair of doom that I'm sitting on, but at the same time, I am always slightly nervous of basically what you've just said, especially when I'm like quite tight into the chair, the table like that, and I have to roll the chair back to see what's on the floor. Like, there is a concern that I'm going to crush something with my mighty chair. You mix them together, you got the head of the emissary and the weapons of the other one. What weapons do they have? Is one whippy? Hey, what's up, Stabby? How's it going? Happy Monday to you. What's cracking? What are you doing today? That is a very good question. Probably one of the best questions of today. I am doing mostly chatting. However, I'm just about to gloss varnish this bit in particular. I want to get a Ultramarine logo on. Although I'm saying that and realize I've not actually checked my Ultramarine logos to see if I've got one which will fit. But an Ultramarine logo is going on there. Somehow. We're going to slap a little bit of gloss varnish on this bad boy. I do realize that I've not actually painted those, so we'll have to slap a little bit of white paint on that first. I'm going to come back and gloss paint that detail in. But yes, we want to gloss varnish this, and then we do have his like shoulder pads here. These are, I need to edge highlight these roughly before we gloss varnish those. And then I need to probably going to give him plasma along with the chain fist or melter. I've got melter and plasma printed out. The Norn Emissary is quite tall, I believe. Not? Avian? Oh, I like. How are you doing them exactly? Like their armor? You and your aunt went to watch Jurassic Park Rebirth. You're going to say it's the second best Jurassic Park movie? After Jurassic Park, right? Just to be on the safe... Just to be clear, right? Emissary is 104 mil tall. And the weapons are close and hands and psychic energy. Ew. Kicks. Purged. Need to purge them. Sorry, I had a glove and I had like a bit of tape from one of my printers gluing its fingers together. But 104 millimeters tall. That's 10 centimeters. Is 4 inches? Is that right? Okay, 104 is... Yeah, it's just... I apologize. This ruler is ancient. I wish it wasn't looking so dodgy, but 100... I do normally do this slightly better conversion, but it's round about 4 inches. Rusty. Give him a Tyranid sword for a weapon. Well, I do need to make my Ultramarine first company. And I do have a Dreadnought with a dead Tyrannid on it. Which is very cool, as a banner. Which we need to print. Kind of slap choppy. What colours are you using now? Tell me about the colour situation. I would almost... Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, bang. And the job is done. Might as well. Oh god. Okay, we just kind of wait for this to dry now. Hope we haven't made any catastrophic errors. Wouldn't be the first time. Definitely not going to be the last time. Literally just... Probably one more little coat of doom. Seemed to be a little bit of texture in there. Entirely sure where that's from. Anyway, whatever. It's just a filthy chaplain. You're a monster. I'm sorry, Mr. Hive Tyrant. Don't take it too personally, all right? Please. I'm sure more of your family will be spawned into existence very quickly. What is your favorite Tyrannid unit out of interest? You like Jurassic Park 3? I can't even remember which one that is. I get confused. Is that the one? I genuinely get confused which one that is. Jurassic Park 2 Lost World is... getting Googled. It's getting Googled. I can't. My brain is not powerful enough on this Monday. We need to work our way up. Jurassic Park 3. Oh, that's the one. Okay, that's the one with the Spinosaurus in it, or the Spinosaur, or whatever the hell it was called. So I do a series of stippling and dry brush, working up from drab brown, then bone, dark ivory, ivory. Oh, okay. Once I was done, I do a skelly horde, wash and tint. Is that what it is? I saw that. I couldn't quite figure out what that was. I like it. Deep purple, purple and faded plum for the purples, burnt red and pyro red for the reds, and a bit of brown ink for light weathering on the rivets. I like it. I like them a lot, dude. Are you going to be getting more? Like another 3? Jurassic Park, yeah, I remember, like, with its big beefy arms. Poor T-Rex with his little arms. You like the Harpy's your favorite model, but I can tell you what's the iconic part. I don't even have one. Really? Well, surely you need to remedy that situation. Surely you must remedy that soon. Sometime this year. William H. Macy. Jurassic Park 3. Oh. I'm working on 50. Bloody. Those are the ones close to done. I need to stuff them in a light box and take pics to get to all around to find errors. I have an Orc Predator model from Puppets War I made into Orc General Grievous. Hell yeah. Your Warhammer shop that I go has a little collection of Tyrannid models, but that's the only place. I mean, Mr. Hive Tyrant, if you're within the UK, what I would say is, what I would suggest is, wiggling my eyebrows suggestively and saying, check out Element Games. However, if you don't have... that's only within the UK, unfortunately, though. So if you're elsewhere, that's not going to do you many favours. Base has a Dreadnought on it. I mean, they do make good basing material, unfortunately. It is a tragic situation. But that's the situation we find ourselves in. I'm going to put a little bit of paint on these sensors before I get too sidetracked. Got a lot of gloss varnish in this airbrush, so I don't want to waste too much. I dropped a few pics at diorama. You made for Golden Frogger in a pics. Oh, yes. Your audio is not in sync to your video. Rat. Nice. Nice one, Ragnar. I like... the fact that you've put a dead Ultramarine there to try and get a rise from me, and it's not going to work. I hold myself to a higher standard than that. You rascal. What color lasery things we're gonna do? I wonder why we got audio sync issues. Normally, all things were fine, but we seem to be. I'm gonna wait a couple of bits for that to dry, and then we can put some more on. I have a cool idea for Orc. He has a tamed Ripper Swarm because if he believes he can. He believes he can have a cage with one of them is biting his finger. Are you in South Africa? How are things over there today? How is the weather? I'm sure it's no doubt hotter than it is here, and it's actually not very hot today at all. I'm just melting because all these lights in here. Audio is okay, that ends? Okay, rock on, thank you. Things I do to mess with Ultramarines, I know. Listen. It just makes you a prolific Ultramarine painter. And really just makes us doubt your true enjoyment of Dark Angels. I think it's some sort of deep-seated kind of psychological thing. You want to be able to paint Ultramarines, feel that frankly you aren't up to their standards, and you have to, as a result, that's why you paint Dark Angels, because they're basically very, very low standard. You know. Sorry, Avian. That's a sweet idea, Mr. Hive. My girl has all my nid bits because that's what she wants to play. But she has any left over. I mean, having bits to like basing bits and stuff like that's always a good thing. It's 90 degrees outside. Oh my god. Yeah, I just like it's not for me. So I have epilepsy. When weather gets hot, I have more seizures. So like I like being in cold, ideally sort of cold weather or mediocre, I guess at best. Oi, sorry, Avian. To be honest, the Ultramarine was easy. Well, was it really? Hey Meg, how's it going today? Happy Monday. I hope you had a magnificent weekend. We are getting closer. We are getting closer. How's progression? I finally got two of my two FDM printers. I was going to say up and running. Well, they're up. Hopefully tomorrow we print out something. for them. Okay, so we're gonna gloss varnish these bad boys in just a mo. We need to bring Badger to Canada then. I would just like it to rain a bit more here. Really, I do like a bit of snow. I don't need ice, and I don't need to be frozen from one step to another. It was lovely. You got a lot accomplished. Hell yeah. Nice one, Meg. That's awesome. Hopefully some stress off the old shoulders. Nearly finished with the jacket. Just got to add the little straps and buckles and things. Hell yes. What models are behind me? Oh. You mean these ones? To get you cold? Listen, my heart is cold, Avian. Generally, that does a lot of heavy lifting. Now, my geography of the States is, as we know, horrific. Maine is on the coast, correct? I reckon Maine would be a good shout. That's north of most... Is it? I did not realize that. Humidity with NG? Well, Rusty, we don't want that. Okay, so... But as long as you can cope in the weather you're in, that's all that matters. All right. We do a quick blast of gloss varnish on this, and then I'll go and get those miniatures over my shoulder. All right. Alrighty. You are vaguely sort of sucking. I'll do another quick. If might be a little bit too runny, this. So I will show you the miniatures I have over my shoulder. And then I'll clean this airbrush out. So bearing in mind you asked for this, all right? So we have an Imperial Fist right here. Which I painted up, what, 3 years ago now? Or 4 years ago? A while. PM, a while. Hey, what's up, Fluent Code? How you doing today, dude? Happy Monday. I hope you had a great weekend. I am doing all right. The devil as well. A 3D printed Astrath the Grim with auxiliary Tyrannid for basing uses. So I do apologize, but you know, Toronto is at 43 degrees, not 42. I don't understand. See, 43. Honestly, I will never understand the latitude and the 43 degrees and minutes north and all that kind of thing. It's very confusing. I know it's supposed to be simple, but it's not simple enough for this Muppet. Which is the same as Monaco. Really? Huh. I did not know that. But I would say certainly that is a strange situation. I'm sorry, Mr. Hive Tyrant. I do apologize. Listen, I am painting some Gene Stealers from Space Hulk, though. So he will attack him, and you'll hopefully feel a little bit better. Latitude and longitude, yeah, it's very weird. I'm not an experienced tabletop wargamer in this regard. The Fist's my favorite Legion. But how mad do folks get if the base sizes are off? I made a weird boy with a bigger base because of hit. Well, I would say, Rusty, like, I think if you're going to be playing competition tournaments, I say, like, you know, the tournaments, I would say the people are generally going to have issues with that. Just because I'm not 100% familiar with the rules these days. But I think base sizes do matter in 10th edition. Whereas, like, if you're playing with your friends, they're not going to care. Hopefully. They're going to be like, whatever. That's a sweet mini. Remember the British Isles get the Gulf Stream? That is true. That is true. Yeah. That's unfair. That means you have a bigger... Well, this is the thing, Mr. Hype Tyrant. I know, like, in tournaments, people are absolutely going to be like, yo, you can't have that. Naughty. Plus, like, there's only so many minis you can fit within a certain space, etc., and all that kind of stuff. The movement thing, like, if you, I don't know, it's 6-inch movement from, yeah, I suppose you do over time would get a little bit. I don't know. I think we have to pay a tariff on it now. What are we paying a tariff on? I painted up this boy. Oh, hold on. I'm not entirely sure what he was supposed to be. I don't entirely know where I was going with this one. Maybe he's, like, got some weird lights around him. Oh, the Gulf Stream? Probably. £4. And then, I think one of the only AdMech things I've ever painted. This boy right here. He was a bit of a nightmare sticking on because he's only got, like, these little pointy things holding them onto his base. There's no decent amount of... You can see, like, there's not much holding him on. And then there was this boy here. With the dead, or dying, whatever this thing is. Drone Space Marine, give it a name. Jeff, the God of Biscuit. Jeff. They're always called Jeff. Or a variety of Jeffs. Guess what base... Oh, I don't... Fluent Code, I don't know. Don't play the games. I can't keep up with when the rules changed. When... I don't know. 4th edition? I really don't know, dude. Really don't. Tell me. Educate me. Rusty, I genuinely wouldn't worry. Like, if you're playing with friends, I don't think that... I mean, if they're reasonable, I don't think you're going to have an issue with it. If you're going to be playing tournaments, then, well... That is probably going to be an issue. Turning the fan on. Melting. When people stop worrying about competitive play... Oh, sorry. Guess when base sizes cease to matter. Sorry, I completely misread your question. Absolutely. Like, I think GW are leaning far too heavily towards competitive stuff. They could have an entirely separate, you know, thing for competitive people. It's a terrible game for competitive play. I certainly watch lots of battle reports on YouTube. Which I do enjoy, but Like, they're a bit more relaxed channels. They're not sort of massively. They're a bit more. Some of them, the majority of them, are a bit more narrative than competitive. Like, I don't watch like live streams of tournaments and things like that. I don't find any interest in that. Mostly because the majority of the issue, I think, is bloody the scenery is just so bad. Absolutely terrible. I'm starting a new series on your YouTube channel. It's called Learning Tyranid Models for Dummies. You're starting with the Hive Tyrant. Nice. Well, the Tyranids are a misunderstood... what's the word I'm looking for? Xenos type? Educating the people is always a good thing. Rusty, you're not confident enough for tournaments... So your buds will face that part of the Green Tide on their own. Well, this is the thing, Rusty. I mean, you can make the cool miniature for your friends, and then if and when you get to the point where you might want to try a tournament, you'll be able to do another version just for tournaments. That's what I would do. Like, I would have the nice mini that you like for playing with your friends, and if you want to do a tournament, then get a regular miniature which sort of adheres to all the rules of the tournament, and then you don't have to worry. I know that does mean a bit more money. When they release models the same size as an average toddler. True. Well, the thing is, toddlers are getting bigger as well. Blue and Code. That is definitely a thing. Yes, it's pain fun. I mean, Rusty, that's how I like to do things. I don't like to stress about it. I've not played Warhammer 40k or I've not played Warhammer 40k since 2001. I played Age of Sigmar. When did I play that? 2000? Yeah, I like the collecting and painting and modeling. That's about it. Not really fussed about the other stuff. I'll watch YouTube channels to watch people play the game if I want to. And that's where I'll leave it, basically. Definitely not trying to get more people to buy Tyranids. And also not turn them into a jean steer coat. Well, growing up, individual toddlers grow into larger children. Is that how it works? I didn't realize that. Toddlers in general are not getting larger. I think they are, surely. How old are you, like the Emperor? I'm not that old. I'm only... I'm 45. I wasn't even a thought yet. I'm only 20. I just love... well, there you go. Rusty, you just do what makes... It's your hobby, right? Like, there are plenty of people out there who also do the hobby. But, and like, they like... People like the different things. Which is, you know... Unfortunately, it does cause problems from time to time. I'll get the keyboard so I can do a shout out. Casual Painter, hello. How are you doing today? Happy Monday to you. I hope you're well. What the devil were you up to today? What were you painting? Folks, if you are on Twitch, there should be a word at the top of the chat which says, or several words in fact, which says join us in following Casual Painter. There will be a heart on that line, which you just make sure you press that button. It means you follow them. Follows are indeed free. It is a great thing to do. Thank you very much. And please do so. Casual Painter, what were you up to today? What were you streaming? What were you painting? Fallout Corvega. Who makes this mini? It better not be Black Scorpion. I mean, it can be Black Scorpion, obviously. Fallout. I can't spell today. What the? It's time to, you told your parents instead of buying a thing that can only be once, you can buy a thing that you can do forever. Well, exactly. I mean, that sort of stuff that continues to give is a great thing. Oh, the cars are for terrain. Ah, okay. But you don't get to ride around in them. That is pretty cool, though. Like, it's been so long since I need to... I will eventually complete one of those games. I will eventually complete one of those games, but more terrain is always a wonderful thing. Modiphius, of course, yes. Yeah, I wasn't sure if, like, some other company was doing other bits and pieces as well for them. I saw at one point a Fallout Deathclaw mini, and my first thought was an orc would want to ride that. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. They want to ride all of the things. They do have some... What is that big monster? It's having... I think I need to get a squad of something from Fallout at some point. They do have a wide range of minis, which are all pretty tempting, truth be told. Like I see they have some print at home stuff as well, like that petrol station thing. Very tempting. Yeah. Aha. Like that Dreadnought. Yeah, we'll finish it at some point. Thankfully, we're never in a rush. That's the wonderful thing about not being like having deadlines. One's never in a rush to get things finished. Get stressed about it, which is a great thing. The second edition. Oh, does it? Already up to second edition, is it? That is a snazzy looking car, actually. And there's an STL of it as well. That's... Do you print these at home, or do you buy these like already finished models? I do like the aesthetic of that. Ugh. That weird startup page. Oh yeah, that is the startup page. I would like the definitely got some interesting terrain, which I'm gonna have to have a look at. What's that? Where is the petrol station thing? The rocket one. If that is a petrol station or a cafe, maybe it's this thing. More of a cafe, isn't it? Although it's a petrol station as well. Well, we now got the printers basically up. Tomorrow we'll get them running, and then hopefully we can start looking at actual other things to print. Sorry you're back. You had ads and your co-worker decided you need to talk your ear off. Son of a bee sting. All right, Meg. How's your Monday going? Apparently busy. There's a bigger station, is there? Well, bigger is better. Scenery? Rain. Rain is the word. I like that lorry as well, the gas, one that carries gasoline or whatever the hell that stuff is. Oh, Nuka World. That bus, the Boston bus, that's very cool. They do have some very cool scenery. Oh, the preserved Red Rocket. It's very tempting. I don't know if you mean this particular one, but this is... pretty cool, actually. Anywho. So I was just about to drink some more tea and then... Or an orc riding a Mirelurk would be sweet. That looks right out of Fallout 4. I think that's when it was based. I don't entirely know, truth be told. I did know someone who worked on Fallout 4. I did never really sort of completed that game. It was... I just really like Fallout 3. That's the one I like the most. Direct from the airbrush. Right, I'll leave that one. Where were we with the Dreadnought? So a little bit room. Pretty sure I just saw a little hair. Slightly irritating. Might have already... Just seagull. Okay, that's... I think we can leave that. Now we got this... We have a fair amount of varnish in there. We made painted, brought into existence by accident. Dump it. Like that. We got to go back to Fallout 3. Your file was corrupted. How far did you get in that, Rusty? I keep forgetting how far I get in it, and then I just get sidetracked. We never end up finishing it, just sort of roaming around. Same with Skyrim. unfortunately. Quite enjoy walking around and getting into mischief. Ouch. Your cat gets hair everywhere? Yeah. Yeah, well, I don't know where that hair came from. There are no cats here. Or dogs, for that matter. But little sort of dusty bits and things do get everywhere every so often. It's slightly irritating. In New Mario Kart, I was just mucking about in the open world. There's open world Mario Kart? Really? What sort of stuff do you do? That seems very... Get into mischief? Right. Airbrushes. Seen enough. It's good enough for Disney. Where is it? There it is. It's got Liberty Prime Online. That's... What is that? That's the big robot thing. The walkie robot. They're just like little tasks to do that gives you stickers and little random things. Oh, okay. Are you enjoying yourself with that, Mort? And how was your weekend? Was it magnificent? Oof. It was good. You won some awards for Golden Frogger. Hell yes. Well, I don't know what rewards those are, but what sort of stuff you get? What rewards are we talking about? Enough time to... We're going to look at some transfers to slap onto this. Probably going to be more than enough. I mean, it's not massive. It's not going to be too complicated. But we will get something on there. I don't know if we'll get something onto the front sort of aspect right there somewhere. Have to be maybe like a number or something. As for the guns, we're going to do some... We've got to slap some black paint on there and also do some edge highlighting of that black area. We need to paint the skull ivory. We need to do more coats of red on the actual gun casings and then figure out... Honestly, that's going to be steel, I think. That's going to be... Break out the steel paint, so steel on that, steel on that little bit there, and then swinging around to there. Might just leave this bit black to break it up a little bit. As for the plasma gun, we've got a little screen and thing. Screen and a couple of buttons which we can slap some stuff on. Steel. I usually paint these things either steel or just grey. Job. Oh, that's the same thing you did in diorama. I thought it was familiar, but I was thinking that doesn't sound like the same thing, Ragnar. But hold on, what is the Golden Frogger? Something I've never heard of. Obviously, 3 categories for your minis. I was thinking. Okay, evidently I was thinking of something completely different. You got 2 golds and a silver. Hell yes. Nice one, Mort. Nothing but Iron Warriors for Mort. One day they're going to level up and paint Ultramarines. Like a champion. Oh, okay. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Like Golden Demon, but more prestigious. There we go. It escalated a bit, had over 100 entries. Bloody hell. That is impressive. There was at one point I almost considered doing something like that. I mean, I suppose there's still time, I suppose, but I do not know. 100 entries is bloody good, though. Well, maybe. I don't want to get... Woo. Problem is, these things need planning. Planning is not my strong point. In case it's not obvious. In case it's not obvious, planning is not my strong point. Okay, I need to get some blue tack. Blue tack holder. I need... One. There were prizes? That helps, yeah. Well, I did prizes for an affiliate thing I had like 3 years ago or something. I had like almost $1,000 worth of stuff. Struggled to give it away. Ragnar. That was the problem. It's like it was a bit kind of I don't know. Yeah. I think it was like almost 1,000. Like I didn't get around to giving the airbrush away. I still have that unopened and unused. Unfortunately, the viewership wasn't there, which is like obviously a me problem rather than anything else. So it's like I just thought, well, fine. Guess keep it for another time. Already got a price, but that is true. That is true. But it has to be sort of like, problem is I have to make it kind of like worthwhile doing for me at the same time. I can't, it has to be, yeah. As we all know, money doesn't grow on trees. Englishman. I am English. I can't help it. That's how I am. Right. I'm going to put some more black paint on. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to put black paint on quite yet. We're going to do red paint first. Then we're going to tidy up any bits where we go AWOL, because we're absolutely going to go AWOL. Then we've got a couple of skulls to paint ivory. We've got one there and one there. And then we'll do the black last. Excuse me, I'm really sorry. I think that's the plan. Delegate. Get some mods to organize it. Yeah, I know. Well, I just don't know, Ragnar. I mean, we've been on Twitch over 7 years now. I think... I don't know. It might have been and gone that part of the stream. I just had a silly thought about Bob Ross paints Warhammer. That's a happy little Eldar. Well, someone has to make an Eldar painter happy. They've had old models for so long. Where is... I need this fan. Red paint. Mephiston red. That's what we're using. Do I have some in the wet palette that's still usable? Have a look. Ladies and jelly spoons. Ooh. So I don't know what we're going to print first, apart from like the starter prints on the old FDMs. Scenery is definitely going to be printed at some point. I just don't know how soon. I want to make sure the prints are working first. As they should be. You're raining Bobby G. I don't know what brought that about, I'm afraid. No idea what brought that about. I don't know. Why he did that. I mean, was he taking one for the Imperium? Like, all right, lads. I'm going to have to step into the breach, sort of almost literally with this one. No one else is going to do it. I will have to. For the greater good. Not that I'm a Tau. But that phrase is particularly useful in this sentence, so, you know, let's get over it. Such a sacrifice. Well, I mean, I've no idea. It depends, really. I mean... Like, is she sort of, like, attractive? Or was he looking beyond the looks and going... There's more to life than that. Got a great mind. Thank you. Bobby G locked eyes with your brain. Enough said. Everyone else said yes. Ship. I do not get in on this shipping stuff. I find it to be the weirdest thing. Rusty, I just don't. It's something I'm never going to get. I just don't understand it. I mean, after all these years on the internet, I would have thought I would get more things, but like, not actually true. Okay, that's a couple of coats of red on that. That's just fine. I'm happy with a couple of coats. This fan is wafting right at me. Okay, so we're going to do the steel bits now. Does it have a best village comp? Hold on. I do live in a countryside town. No, I don't. There is no best village for this town. Unfortunately. Almost moved to a house like that. Almost. Came very close to a house like that. That was down in Suffolk. Very nice, very picturesque town. Little village, in fact. Sorry, not town. Yeah. She did help him. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Bet you did. Filthy rascal. And do the people do the greater good? Well, I don't know. Not in this town. Not in this town. Probably towns nearby, though. I wouldn't be surprised. We need to clear this skank out of the lid. I love this tune. It's a good one. We poured too much steel out. All right. Okay. Zero. If it makes you feel any better, I'm making your killer cans. Ooh, we like killer cans. And a third-party Tau models with a killer can kit mixed in. Hell yes. Well, the killer cans are always like rather scrappy and made up from whatever the orcs come across, aren't they? Makes total sense. How many are you making? 3 or more? Alrighty. Squad of 3? Hell yes. Absolutely magnificent stuff. What sort of colors are you going with your orcs? Okay. Right, so those are just going directly into this block. I think we're leaving black, but it's strange that they're just going directly in. We're going I mean, we could have potentially done these full of like weird gas or fluid, I suppose. Okay, so we've got to do the ivory bits on those two skulls. Then we've got to edge highlight. No, we've got to paint the ivory on the two skulls. Then we're going to clean up any bits which need cleaning up on the black sort of bits. Then we'll edge highlight the black. Then we'll do some very rough red highlights, edge highlights on the gun carapace. Then we will gloss varnish it. And then on tomorrow's stream, we can do the oil, like the oiling up little bits, matte varnish it, then finish highlighting it and stuff. Rusty, your Orc pirates believe that the colors of red and purple represent the gods Gork red and Mork purple, with shabby white painted on their metals to make them shiny, and of course, all teeth are gold. Of course, well, that makes sense that all teeth are gold, yeah. Lurk away, Ragnar. Have a good one, dude. Thank you very much. All right, so oh, wrong button. When is this preview show anyway? 18th of July, which is what, 11 days away? Friday night. I don't know if we'll be able to. Probably not going to stream that. Probably be doing something else. Potentially another stream. I guess Xandri dust. I got a dodgy Xandri dust. Probably use that. Start off with. We got the black paint to tidy up with. We need it. Probably will need it. We got two little skulls to paint, so get those done. Well, there's definitely some sort of shape there. I mean, it's not probably immediately recognizable as a skull. I have to tidy this one up with some black later in a bit. Womposaurus, hello. How are you doing today? Happy Monday. I hope you had a good weekend. What were you up to? I made it where they paint a red streak down their left eye with purple down their whole cheek. On almost. Oh, okay. I will hunt that down, Rusty. Womposaurus, what have you been up to? You been looking after yourself? Do you have a good weekend? Tell me the things. Make sure I'm not sharing that page. I just had my passwords up by look. Played an early access game for a dev. What was the early access game? You allowed to say? You haven't been painting. You mostly lost for inspiration today. I'm lost for words. Well, Womposaurus, you can't always paint. Can't always paint, can you? I'm having to make some time to play some games at the moment, so. Needs to happen. Flat out needs to happen. It's called God's TV, I think. Hey, okay. I am familiar with both of those. Have I played them? No. I remember people playing Hades. And I remember people playing Cyberpunk. I'm just having a very quick look. I see the Steam summer sale is still going on. Has anyone purchased any absolute bangers? For on the sale? Any suggestions? Yeah, I do not have. I thought for a second I might have had Hades. I do not. I see there's a Hades 1 and the Hades 2. I know, Womposaurus. I know, it's terrible. I mean, what can I say? I like first-person shooters, man. Well, they don't necessarily have to be shooters. Generally, first-person shooters, yes. First-person survival, like 7 Days to Die, yes. Or third-person shooters, like Division, Hitman, etc. Yes. And I suppose third-person survival, like... I do have... What's the game I could have? That I purchased the other day. State of Decay. I remember enjoying the first one. I never got around to getting the second one, so I purchased that the other week. When I had a spare moment. When it was on sale. It's on sale again, so there we go. Yeah, I enjoy playing 7 Days to Die. I think we'll get around to like doing something with 7 Days to Die in some format. I don't think it's going to be on this channel though. I got to attempt to keep them separated. But I think if and when I do stream on another channel, it'll be mostly grinding. Not like, you know, not like a little bump and grind. There's absolutely thrilling stuff like grinding out camos. Or maybe other bits and pieces. I don't know. I really don't know what I'm going to do, truth be told. But how's the baby Dread? Oh! Not glued together yet. I need to probably glue that together in a bit. Wait, hold on. Do you mean... Wait. Did you mean this baby Dread? Or did you mean this? Wamposaurus. I do apologize. I instantly assumed you meant this. Rather than the actual Dreadnought I'm painting. I do need to stick his arms on. I'm leaving his shoulder pads off for the moment. I'm going to paint those separately. I do need to glue those on though. The actual Dread? Yeah, I do apologize. Like, we are making progress. I've just been not happy with, like, the stupid arm situation. Like, painting this bit in the middle red was a stupid idea. I don't know why I did it. I was hoping I could make it work. I kept looking at it and going, oh, you know what? I don't like that at all. I'm going to take this opportunity while I have this in my hand, though, to paint. A little bit of steel on there. We are going to be oil washing him. At some point. He's not perfect, it's more of a test miniature than anything else. And a bit of fun. Got to paint his nuts? Yeah, his nuts and bolts need painting. Very important. So I'm hoping... that. There we go. Sorry, I just needed to get those painted while I had this in front of me. So we're going to glue his arms on. And then we're going to varnish him, I suppose. And then we've got all the oil washes and stuff to do on top of that. But he's coming along. Like, if I get Saturnine Terminators for Imperial Fists, then they would be like this, I suppose. Otherwise, for Ultramarines, very tempting. Because the Ultramarines are the connoisseur's choice, obviously. When we do these gloss varnish, we have to remember to paint and edge highlight. We've also got to do these things as well, so I should probably leave those right here, in fact. Yes, this is a 3D print. And this is a 3D print. They're both printed them both out. Oof. Pre-roll adverts done with. Cursed things. Cursed out. Yeah, sorry about that. Functional. Functional. It'll do. I mean, we're going to be going over it in a wash of some variety anyway. So we can pick up highlights later, I suppose. Don't really need to stress about too much these situations. A little bit of bronze. Okay. functional. Was there any? Okay, we just got to tidy up with all the black paint now. Then just edge highlight, and then gloss varnish, and then oil wash, and then matte varnish, and then finish off all the other bits and pieces. Black paint, where are you, sunshine? Right in front of me. And we're clear? Hell yes. Hell yes. Avian, thank you so much for gifting Womposaurus a sub. Let me locate the button. Where is it? Thank you very much. Helping Womposaurus defeat the curse of the adverts. Thank you very much, Avian. That's the wrong brush. That is the wrong brush, ladies and jelly spoons. Learn stippling. You got to stab it. Stippling is good. Paint is too thin. Needs some more oomph in it. You've been stippling, I swear. You just need a break, maybe. You just need a bit of a break from all the painting. You've been too productive. Now you need to be less productive. And more sort of like recharging your powers. Stab harder. It's because Mortarion has so many fiddly bits and crevices, it's impossible to reach without making a mess. Ah. I see. I'm really sorry about that. He is a busy boy. There is a lot going on. I mean, stabbing him just like the Khan did. Ugh. Well, a big model like this, you do need a break from. Like, from time to time. You can't just constantly be working on him. Taking some time off and sort of, you know, doing other stuff. Makes sense. You got no idea how to do the wings. Well, the problem is, whenever I see the wings, I said the other stream, like, I always see, you know, the one that Demon Rich did. Like the wings he painted. It's a bit of an irritation. I just don't... I think for me, when I get around to painting him, I don't want to paint his wings green. Womposaurus, what color did you paint the wings? Yeah, that's the one that Demon Rich did. Wampa. And that's always the one because that's the first time I'd ever seen that mini. I don't think I'd realized that like it existed or what, but you haven't painted them yet. Do you have any idea how? Like, I think for me, I'm not going to do green. I think it would make them too green and almost, unless I could figure out a way to make it slightly jazzier. You remember my Guo blue, green, white stipple boy? I think so. I would do the same but more white, I think, body-wise with lots of weathering. The wings, yeah, the wings are a major issue. There's a lot of surface area. And I think, as I said, like the green, I think it would be, I don't want to say bland, but I mean, there is, as I said, there's a lot of surface area. You need to kind of figure out how to jazz them up a little bit, make them a bit different. Short of painting massive moth sort of wings. Alright, I think that's done for that. Edge highlighting time. Incubi darkness. As I said earlier, like I don't think as we go into the summer, like I don't think I'll be doing that many 4-hour streams. Like it is steadily getting hotter, and these lights are all basically pointed at me, cooking me. But I don't know what we're really going to do about it. We might just end up doing game streams instead on another channel. At this rate. I can't do green too much. Pallid hands, so I'm thinking maybe pale with purple in the place. Jazz hands? That would, I mean, it definitely would. I mean, I was just thinking when you said that, you know, what's it? That film. That What's His Features did. Good luck guessing that with the monster in it with the eyes in his palms, and he walks around like this. You could do hands with palms. I can't speak as usual. Yeah, you could do those. Oh, it might not even be game. It might not even be that channel. God, we changed we did the wrong button. It might be a completely new one. Pan's Labyrinth. That's exactly. Guillermo del Toro. That was it. Pan's Labyrinth. A film I've seen probably once, in fact. One entire time. Maybe The Penguin from the Tim Burton? The proper Batman films. Do you know what you're missing there? Hawk Turquoise. Well, I do actually have... Wait, hold on. Is it Hawk Turquoise I have, or is it Jade Bloody Doobry Firkins? Not Goody. Jade... I do have Hawk Turquoise. Batman and Robin, best Batman. Honestly, I like the first original Batman and Batman Returns. Batman and Robin with the... That was the one with the nipple armor, right? With the nipples. The knife to the face in Pan's Labyrinth is a hard one to rewatch. I own the film, so I should probably... I need to get a Blu-ray player, that's the problem. The problem is I bought a bunch of Blu-rays and then sold my PlayStation 3 and neglected to remember that I needed it to watch Blu-rays. So I need to remedy that. I got a bunch. Have you seen Del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities? No, I have not. So I was just wondering because like there's a book there's an author I read, or actually a pair of authors I read, who wrote a book called The Cabinet of Curiosities. I was wondering if for a second that was a film based on it, which would be interesting. Television miniseries. Horror anthology television miniseries created by Del Toro. Clooney Bat, that was it. Alicia Silverstone. Oh, Alicia Silverstone's bottom. I do. Now, strangely, I hadn't actually considered that, but yes. The Freezenator. Well, it did have some good. It was good in those regards. I mean, I personally like the first Batman and Batman Returns, but well, Alicia Silverstone's. It does a lot of heavy lifting. No, I've not seen this. I have not. I will have to try and hunt that down, though. Thank you. That does seem like something I would watch. But there was a book called... So, you might have seen the film Curie... Curie! Hold on. By Douglas Preston and Lincoln Child. I've not read those books in a while, though, but I did really like them. There was a film called The Relic. Then there's one called The Reliquary. There's a whole sort of series, and like there are a lot of the characters sort of like appear in other ones, and then there's an entire series with a particular FBI agent in it. Her front is also quite lovely. Hold on, let me back up a bit. Well, it was going to 60s camp. It needed to do a lot of it. Do you know what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. God. I'm not let me remind myself about Alicia Silverstone. She was blonde, right? I'm not what you might call massively. Yes. Hold on. Was her character? Is it Batgirl? I mean, it is an interesting pose. You saw the relic in the theater. Okay, so I really like my friend in the States when I was living there. He put me onto that book, and then I think I've read the majority of their books. I've not read, like, if they've done any recent ones, I've not read those, but I really do enjoy their writing. The man does. No, I genuinely haven't watched this film in quite a while. Genuinely, cross my heart and hopes to die. But you know, I could make. I mean, I don't know. All I'm going to say is she's no Sandra Bullock. That's all I got to say on that one. The scenes. But hold on, while we are. What's this article? You saying she got body shamed for that article? Are you serious? So I'm just scrolling through looking for pictures of. Oh God, where are we? But apparently she got body shamed. Jesus. God knows why. I mean, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for this, but enjoy that picture. I don't know how you would like even start body shaming her. Yeah, I don't remember her being body shamed. Like the nipples, the bloody nipples. Yeah, I seriously don't remember that. I got to say, this is an interesting choice for sort of Batsuit with the silver all over it and the massive codpiece. She is, yeah, she really is, Avian. I don't understand it. Like, where is his nipples? Yeah, exactly. Where are the bat nipples? Well, the bat sign hides the nipples. They're so impressive. They needed the entire sign over it. It needs to be matte. I mean, it's slightly disconcerting, actually. It is slightly disconcerting. You just walk into a party and assert dominance with a codpiece that size. Her in Blast in the Past is peak Alicia. I don't remember that film. Like, don't remember that film. I was never massively kind of into her films. Well, sure, must have seen some films with her in it. Obviously, I've seen that one. Films? What else has she been in? Ouch, I just cracked my elbow. Alright, I'll tell you what I've seen that she's been in. We're gonna okay, we're back to 2016. I still haven't seen anything. Tropic Thunder. She was in the awards ceremony of Tropic Thunder. We had to scroll back to 2008 for me to find something that she's been in that I've seen. Beyond that, let's see what else. Clueless. I genuinely don't know if I know it was a very popular film. I genuinely can't remember if I've seen it. Batman and Robin. So that was 97. Clueless. I mean, I remember it. I know exactly what. Like, oh, hello. How can you not remember that, right? It's very, I don't know, of its era. But I don't know if I've seen it. No, I've not seen it. I'm just going to flat out say I've not seen it. If you look at it too long, no, I know Fluent Code. I realize, like, my eyes did drop because, like, it was just like ridiculous, literally. And it was just, it just took up the entire sort of screen at that point. It was, it was just bananas. So what? I'm gonna scroll all the way down. Maybe I really have just not seen stuff she's been in. Batman and Robin. Didn't see. I missed out on Clueless. You know what? Okay, she was in the Wonder Years. Oh, for one episode. Okay, I've seen one film with her in it. That does seem a bit bananas. Well, technically two if you want to include Thingamajig, Tropic Thunder, in an awards ceremony. What's up, Chad? What's going on, dude? What, the massive cod piece? Asserting dominance across the entirety of Twitch with a massive silver cod piece. What's up? Batman has to intimidate the Hood. No, absolutely. I mean, I completely understand the requirement of large codpiece. Obviously. We did get distracted, yes. I haven't seen Clueless, yeah. No, I genuinely don't think I've seen it. Like, I remember a lot of people at the time watching it. I did not watch it. What year did it come out? Was it 95? There may have been, I've just realized there may have been a very good reason why I didn't watch it. She has the most mediocre filmography. Yeah, well, I mean, you know, we all have kind of different people we like, right? One of the most overrated and equally underrated. Well, I just haven't seen it. Was it 95? Where is it? Where's the bloody film gone? Yeah, it was 95. Christ on a bicycle. I would say I don't bother. You weren't a fan. Well, hold on. I'm just trying to think what film came out round about that time. I was wondering if it was Speed, but that was the year before. And then I was wondering, was it Demolition Man? You can see that, like there's a common link between those two films. I was wondering if maybe that was the reason. I asked everyone if you'd seen Cabinet of Curiosities. Yes, it did go off the rails, absolutely. As per always, like it doesn't take much to sidetrack. I take you talking about very attractive, but well, I don't. The thing is, I never really found her. Blondes never really did much for me. Chad, like on that sort of level, at least. I mentioned her best asset in Batman and Robin as I listed all the reasons it's the best. I mean, they are good reasons. They are good reasons. I shall have to give it a look. I've been on Japanese anime horror journey of late. Surely each and every Japanese anime is a horror of some variety, just from its default state. Surely. You knew I was going to say that? Why would you think I was going to say that? You can wait till the Ice Age. You reassess that. Badger, the last anime you watched was probably in the 90s and most likely... No. I watched... Listen, I know exactly which ones I watched. Akira, Ninja Scroll, Ghost in the Shell. That's all that needed to be watched. They were in the I think I did watch them all in the 90s or the very early 2000s. Okay, Badger chat, you need some advice. What do you need help with, Chad? The episode in Cabinet with Peter Weller, also known as Robocop, is more messed up than most Japanese horror. I bet Badger wore out his copy of... I can't even pronounce that word, Fluent Code. No. I've no idea. I rent your car parking spot to a guy who lives opposite. You're gonna put the price up. He hasn't paid for 4 months, but they did have a baby 3 months ago. So they're right now hammering the hell out of the car. Do I close the gates and block the parking space when he leaves? Yes. Your parking space. Chad, it's your parking space. He's had 4 months to pay. Whether or not having it, like having a, I can understand having a child does make, you know, money tight, but one has to budget. You could be renting it out to someone who pays. I would absolutely drop him like it's hot. Unless you've written some weird contract that he's signed. Actually, you know what? Well, that's not anime though, right? Tetsuo Iron Man. I have seen that and the sequel. Body Hammer. Uro Suke. Suke or Suki? Doshi. Hammering as in fixing it, I'd go and have a chat with them personally. Sounds like they're having a less fun time of things. Well, if they're literally hammering it, I would wait for them to put the hammer down before you chat. Now, Chad, like, you know, especially if you're relying on that money, like if it's an extra help that you need and they're not paying it, then you can find someone else who can pay it, potentially. I'm basically fluent. It's a skill that I keep on, you know, the down low. I don't like to show off about my, you know, fluency in Japanese, but you know, it's there. Like I don't like to show off all the skills. Not many have seen Tetsuo. Have they really not? Well, lack of taste. Lack of taste, you see. They all just like to watch the common stuff. You know, they need to increase. I don't know. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, dude. I have seen it though, and I've seen it. I did see the sequel once, and I was like, what the? I didn't watch that. Like, there was a whole load of films, like an X kind of, we watched. Including some very strange ones I would gladly have never seen. And I'll be very happy to never see them again. Burned into the brain. Yeah. There are definitely, like, now you've said that, I've got some things being burned into my brain I could really do without. It got brought up in anime conversations during the 90s a lot, but I never bothered to watch it. See, this is the thing. When I was at school, I can't, like, where I was, like, I can't remember anyone talking about anime. I think that, I don't know if the first time I heard about anime was when I moved to the States, but I certainly can't remember many conversations about it. Admittedly, the school I went to, like, from 96 to 98, I hated. And I generally avoided as many people in that school as possible. So I wasn't like the most sociable of people for those 3 years when I could have potentially heard about it, but I don't know. Long shot, but maybe you can help me with the film title. Asian. Pretty sure Japanese movie about a young lady. And 4 men who, yeah, okay. She then plots revenge on them by one-on-one, but as it happens, I think she falls in love with the policeman who's investigating it. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hello there. Thank you so much for the super chat. How are you today? I hashtag appreciate you. We are working on this very slowly. I'm hoping to, like, here's the main boy himself is gloss varnished, but we do need to gloss varnish like an edge highlight, these wingy things, and the red gun casing before we gloss varnish him. But as I said, over the weekend I did get some more paint on this bad boy. We did the sort of spotlight sensor lights, added in the torso armor and the head. It is slightly skew-if. I'm not too fussed. It's only a test model rather than anything else. To see how this particular blend of Saturnine would go together. Wing Doobie Firkins? Yes, I don't know. I didn't know what to call them. I'm sorry. It was shown on Sci-Fi Channel at like 3 AM. Really? What was everyone so keen on about that film? I'm not looking for it right now. It's very yellow. Did you run out of good colors? No, no. We used the good colors. That is the good color. Right there. That's all there is to it. Oh! 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 Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. I did Google it. Japanese erotic horror. Okay, right. Well, that'll be one reason why I didn't. That'll be definitely one reason why I don't know about it. Right there. It's alright in terms of 90s anime. It's just also like the first mainstream. Oh, okay. I missed out that bit. Sorry. Because it was funded by Pentat. Are you serious? Chad, I think I've already done. Well, I am recording this yellow. And I will do. Well, we got a lot of Imperial Fist to paint, so I will be doing it again. I have done like a couple of yellow tutorials. I need to get back to editing. It's very slow progress. I saw an example of a 2nd edition Imperial Fist. The army was properly stunning. Who did the army? Burnt Code, do you remember? I'm not going to Google it right now, I promise. None of this modern junk though, just good old Marines. Good old-fashioned bad boys. Like, I still think, like, that Howling Griffin's army gets me every time. Yellow and red, though. It's slightly terrifying. I have a picture of it on... Where is it? I basically have this picture up. That's not it. Where's the picture gone? Boo? Well, this is very sad. I'm sure I had... Where the bloody hell is it gone? Absolute tragedy. Isn't unique as far as I know, other than it was heavy violent. Like, I mean, I don't mind the violence. I'm just not massively keen on... I'm not going to try and pretend I'm a prude. But I'm, like, the animated stuff. Let's just leave it at that, shall we? This army... picture one you went... Always blocked. This is very saucy. This is real filth. None of this stuff you're talking about, Chad. We really didn't have the internet back then. That is true. Well, I mean, I remember sending emails like in 1904, 5, like emails. There was was it Pegasus webmail? Was it Pegasus mail or something like that around about then? I used to be, the only thing I really remember about that is you sent an email and when they read it, it pinged back and told you that they read it. Like the flag changed on it or something, which was bloody amazing. I would love that on Gmail these days. You send an email to some toe rag who's not behaving and you know it, then you can know for a fact, like they got my email and they read it and they decided to ignore it. Now we can elevate the issue. We can go to their boss and tell them what's up. That is a sexy Land Raider. It is. It has grown on me a lot, but I remember when I first saw it, I thought it looked very, like, weird. Like, when I moved to the school, which, when I started painting minis, Warhammer minis, like, my friend in the dorm had one, and he hadn't, I don't think he'd painted it, but it almost, it just looked too much like a weird toy rather than a proper wargaming piece. The internet was strange in days where a single JPEG would take a few minutes. I know. That was the real thing right there. I was on a video talking about 2nd edition. Name video nasties, but I honestly don't think I ever actually saw a list. You remember AOL dominating, and what about CompuServe? I think I always remember AOL and CompuServe. Evidently, CompuServe went sideways. AOL still seems to be around in some form. The only person to ever actually complete a Howling Griffin's army. The rest are all just for incomplete models and regret. Well, the thing is, Fluent Code, I have been tempted, but then I thought to myself, you know what? This is, firstly, the scheme itself is ridiculous. Yellow and red quartered would take me forever. So I did dial it back. I did like, I mean, what's not to love about this, to be honest? But it would take me even longer than a normal person. Unless I just, like, I did a stream on Friday with no face cam. I did a lot more work then, by the way. So I thought maybe a combat squad or whatever or combat patrol thing, that would be a viable thing, or just one squad would potentially be a viable thing to paint. Rusty, welcome back. You've missed a lot of context of stuff about Batman's codpiece. Well, I don't think... I don't even know where to start. I don't even know where to start with that. That is the problem. But we have been doing some edge highlighting on the weaponry, on the black gun casing. We have the reds. We've got to edge highlight the red in, is it Wild Riders red? Basically, I think we just need to do that before we get around to the varnishing. I'm going to do the plasma coils after the weathering, I think. Yeah, we only really have to edge highlight the red on that. The only other bits of black we need to edge highlight are these things. Reminds you of the 70s English medieval movie where everyone's in bright garish clothes. Well, not Henry V. Not Henry V then. Wompsaurus, you look after yourself. Sleep well, my friends. Thank you very much for swinging by, as always. Fluent Code, look after yourself. Have a good one, dude. Thank you very much for swinging by. Have a great stream. And yeah, thank you very much. Start at the tip and work your way down. Always good advice. Always good advice right there, Fluent Code. I will check out the Cabinet of Curiosities. Now you've, like, I don't think I've ever heard of it as a sort of TV series. I will endeavor to remember that. I am actually starting to melt, and I have said that, like, when it comes to these sorts of weathers, I don't do well. So we might, like, and it is basically the end of the stream, so, you know, it's good timing in that regard. We are going to go and raid someone, though. I don't know if all, like, as the temperature gets hotter, I may have to chop down the streams a little bit by an hour or so or something, just so I'm finishing at a slightly less melty time or something like that, because this room does get hot even with the air conditioner on. However, I would like to go and raid someone because I do see it's actually, they have an anniversary stream, so let's get this raid underway. Please come through on the thing, and I will see you on tomorrow's stream. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Thank you very much for the raids. Thank you very much for the subs. Thank you very much for the donation on YouTube. Thank you, thank you, thank you.